In today's lecture, we will discuss three topics. The topic number 1, which is the design of the sedimentation tank, and topic number 2, which is the remaining wastewater treatment processes, and the topic number 3, which is the disposal of the wastewater. Okay, so first of all, we start with the design of the sedimentation tank. Okay, so for that, the design parameter of the sedimentation tank are there. Okay, so here on screen you can see that one table are there, and the various parameter and the various limits are there. Okay, so first of all, then primary settling only, so you can have the overflow rate, which is the average are there, then peak are there. Okay, then primary settling followed by the secondary treatment. So here then all the types of settling are there, and for that the overflow rate, then solid loading and the depth and the detention time are differ from the types of the settling, right? Now first of all, the design detail of the sedimentation tank are there. So first of all, the detention period for the plain sedimentation tank, it is to take a 3 to 4 hour, and the coagulated sedimentation tank, it take a 2 to 2.5 hour, right? Now the velocity, which is not greater than 30 centimeter minimum, it is a horizontal flow, right? Then the tank dimension, which is L in B, which is 3 to 5.1, and generally L is equals to 30 meter common for maximum 100 meter. The width, which is 6 to 10 meter. Then it is if this tank which is circular, so the diameter is not greater than 60 meter. Generally it is take 20 to 40 meter. Okay, the depth of the tank, which is 2.5 to 5 meter. Then surface overflow rate, which is the for plain sedimentation tank, it is 12,000 to 18,000 liter per day per meter square tank area, and the for thoroughly flocculated water, it is 24,000 to 30,000 liter per day per meter square tank area, right? Now, and the slope, which is the for rectangular, it is 1% towards the inlet, and the circular, which is 8%. Now, okay, here on screen you can see that the design example are there. Okay, basically you can see that the data, which is the design a rectangular sedimentation tank to treat a 2.4 million liters of raw water per day. So the detention period may be assumed to be 3 hours. Okay, so here you can see that in the example the data given, which is the raw water, right? 2.4 million liter of raw water per day are given, and the detention time, which is given 3 hours. Okay, so basically the raw water flow per day, which is 2.4 into 10 raised to 6 liter. Okay, here you can see that the million liter they are there, we convert into the liter, right? After that, we first of all we find out the capacity of the tank. So the capacity of tank, which is equal to flow into detention period divided by 24, because here you can see that the 2.4 million liter per day. So here you can see that the 24 are there, right? So 2.4 into 10 raised to 6 into 3 divided by 24. So the capacity or volume of tank, which is the 300 meter cube, right? Now the depth, first of all assume the depth of tank, which is 3 meter. Now the surface area, how we can find the surface area? So here this area is equals to capacity or volume divided by depth. So the capacity, which is 300, and the depth we assume, which is 3. So the surface area, which is equals to 100 meters square, right? Now we can find actual depth or effective depth of the tank, which is volume divided by D is equals to V by A. So the volume, which is 300, and the surface area, which is 100. So the effective depth, which is 300 meter, right? Okay, now first of all we take a L in B ratio, which is 3, right? Because of effective depth is equals to 3. So for here we can write that L is equals to 3B. So here L into B is equals to A, right? Area is equals to L into B. So here you can see that L is equals to 3B, right? So here we write a L in the replacement of L, we write a 3B into 3B and the area which is equals to 100 meter square. Okay, so here 3B square is equals to 100 meter square, then B square is equals to 33.33, right? So the final value here we can take a square root and the final value of B which is equals to 5.8 meter, right? So the depth of the sedimentation tank which is the 5.8 meter, right? Here we have one equation, right? L is equals to 3B. Now, so 3B is equals to, now we find out that B is equals to 5.8. So right here we write 3 into 5.8. So now we got a L. So the L is equals to 17.4 meter. Now effective depth is equals to 3 meter, but we provide a 1 meter of the for sludge accumulation and the 0.5 meter for the freeboard. So the total depth is equals to 3 plus 1 plus 0.5 is equals to 4.5 meter, right? So here the final dimension of the sedimentation tank, which is B is equals to 5.8 meter, L is equals to 17.5 and the D is equals to 4.5 meter, right? So this is the basic step or basic example of the sedimentation tank. Now the next one, which is the next process of the second primary treatment, which is the coagulation, and it is a secondary settling tank. Okay, so basically the coagulation is also important in the several wastewater treatment operation. It is the most common example in the chemical phosphorus remove and the another. It is overload wastewater treatment plant. It is practice of chemically enhancing primary treatment to reduce the suspended solid and organic load from the primary clarifier, right? Okay, you can see that the first of all our treatment sedimentation tank are there. In the tank the coagulant are added, right? And you can see that the impurities, floating impurities are there. So after adding the coagulant form a precipitate and they trapping the impurities, right? So that the weight of this impurities is very heavy and the weight of this impurity is greater than the water, right? So due to the heavy weight, they are settled down to the bottom of the tank. Okay, so the precipitate and trap impurities which is settled down to the bottom. So this is the process of the coagulation process. Now the next process, which is the flocculation. So after the coagulation process, the flocculation process are coming, right? So the flocculant, it is one type of floc formation. It means the floc formation, right? It is used in the wide range of industry to help the remove material suspended in the water, right? It is a separation of the solution commonly for the removal of the sediment from a liquid. Its term is derived from floc, which means flag of material. When a solution has been flocculated, the sediment has formed into the large arrangement aggregated flag, making them easier to see and they remove. So this process occurs naturally, or it can also be forced using the flocculant or in physical processes, right? It is a substance that promote to agglomeration of the fine particle which is present in the solution or the wastewater, it creating a floc and which then float to the surface or the settle to the bottom. This can be more easily removed from the liquid, right? So this is the process of the flocculation. Okay, here on screen you can see that the coagulation and the flocculation both are simultaneously processed, right? So basically the industrial wastewater which is coming in the secondary sedimentation tank, in here in this tank we add a coagulant. After that the impurities which gain a weight, and after that they are settled to the bottom. Okay, then flocculant, it means that the destabilize the wastewater particles, right? Here you can see that the floc formation are there, and after that the sludge which is formed and they are collected into the bottom of the tank. Okay, and the treated water which go to the further processes. Okay. Now the working of the primary process, which is basically the sludge from the primary sedimentation tank is formed to the sludge thickener, right? The more settling occurs to the concentrate the sludge prior to be disposal, right? And the primary treatment reduce the suspended solids and the BOD of the wastewater, right? So measurement and sampling at the inlet structure, a flow meter continuously record the volume of the water entering the treatment plant, and the water sample are taken to the determination of the suspended solid and the BOD, right? After the primary process. From the primary treatment tank, water is pumped to the trickling filter for the secondary treatment, right? Now, this is okay, so this is the whole process of the primary treatment. Now, the second one, which is the secondary treatment process. Okay, in the secondary treatment, there are two processes are there. The first of all, which is the trickling filter, it is also called biofilter, and the second one, which is rotating biological contractor, it means RBC. First of all, we discuss the trickling filter. Okay, so what is trickling filter? It consists of a basin or fill up with the support media such as stone, then plastic slabs or wooden slab. Okay. After that, the wastewater is applied intermittently or sometimes continuously over the media. So the microorganism become attached to the media and form a biological layer or fixed film, right? Then wastewater is applied or continuously or intermittently over the media. Okay, after that the forced air can also be supplied by the blower, but this is rarely, right? Whatever it is necessary. So the thickness of the biofilm increase as a new organisms grow, and periodically a portion of the film slow of the media, right? Okay, and the sludge material is separated from the liquid in a secondary clarifier and the discharge to the sludge processing. Okay, here on screen you can see that the picture of the trickling filter are there. Okay, so basically in the top of the filter the sprinkler of the water are there, right? And here the filter media are there. Okay, the filter support, then filter media where the water which is collected after the treatment. Okay. Now the next one, which is the rotating biological contractor. Okay, in this process it is fixed film reactor similar to the biofilter in that the organisms are attached to the support media. In the case of RBC, the support media are slowly rotating discs that are partially submerged in the flowing wastewater in the reactor, right? This biological contractor which is partially submerged in the water and partially which is remaining on the surface. Now the oxygen is supplied to the attached biofilm from the air when the film is out of the water, right? Because here the oxygen is important, because here the microorganisms are there, right? So the sludge pieces of the biofilm are removed in the same manner described as the biofilter, right? Okay, here on screen you can see that the first of all attached biofilm are there. Okay, so here on screen you can see that are the biofilm, then individual coat with this parts, then dense biofilm or the second stage cells are there. Okay, the wound coats with attached second stage cell. Okay, this is the contractor. They are rotating and you can see that they are partially in the water and partially in the surface, right? Okay, in the top of the contractor you can see that the oxygen which is provided. Okay, hydrogen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide are there. Okay, this is the real time image of the rotating biological contractor, right? You can see that they are partially in the water. Okay, now the next one, which is the tertiary or the advanced treatment of the wastewater. Basically, this is a final cleaning process that improve the wastewater quality before it is discharged or before it is reused, recycled or discharged to the environment. The treatment remove the remaining inorganic compounds and the substance such as the nitrogen and the phosphorus, and the bacteria, virus which can harmful to the public health, it is also removed in this stage. Okay, the alum is used to remove the additional phosphorus particles and the group of the remaining solid together for easy removal in the filters. And the wastewater from the flash mixture is gravity fed through the sand filters, right? But because of the addition of the alum, the teeny particles cluster together in the masses. It is called a flock, and the flock is trapped by the sand while the clear water is gravity fed to the chlorine contact tank, right? So the filter are backwashed every 24 hours to remove the flock that are accumulated. Then backwash water is returned to the primary treatment stage to through the full treatment, right? And the chlorinated water will slowly win its way along the discharge tank, then giving to time to react. And the chlorine is removed from the water since it can be harmful to water quality and aquatic life when in the high concentration, right? Basically, the tertiary treatment, it means that the removal of the phosphorus and the nitrogen compound. It also include the ion exchange process, right? Then it is also process which is reverse osmosis. It means the RO process, right? Okay, so this is the tertiary treatment or advanced treatment of the wastewater. Now the next one, which is the disposal of the wastewater. Okay, so the disposal of wastewater should be preferably be to considered only when the reuse option are not usable, right? Ultimate disposal of water, wastewater, is either onto land or river. And in general problem areas that are of concern in the final disposal are pathogenic organisms, then heavy metals, and the presence of biologically resistant organic compound such as the pesticides or insecticides which can find their way into the water supply, right? Basically, there are three methods for the disposal of wastewater, which is directly the surface disposal, then subsurface disposal, or the disposal by the dilution. First of all, we discuss with the surface disposal. Okay, so it is a basic method. It is disposal by the irrigation. This involves spreading the wastewater over the surface of the ground, generally by the irrigation, right? And this method is largely restricted to the small volume of the wastewater from a relatively small population where land area is available and where the nuisance problem will be not be created, right? It has its best use in arid or semi-arid regions where the moisture added to the soil is a spatial value, right? Okay, so you can see that the picture of the surface disposal are there, right? Now the second one, which is the subsurface disposal. Okay, so by this method, wastewater is introduced into the ground below its surface through the pits or the dye fields, right? It is commonly used for the disposal of settled wastewater from the residents or institutions where there are only a limited volume of wastewater, right? The little application of large scale use in the municipalities. Okay, you can see that the permeable pipe which allow the slow escape of the liquid waste into the soil, and pipe may be surrounded by gravel to add percolation, right? Then underground settling tank are there, then leaching field are there, okay? And the third one, which is the disposal by the dilution. Okay, so disposal by dilution is a simple method of discharging wastewater into the surface water such as the lake, river, ocean, and etc. The degree of pollution which depend upon the dilution, then volume and the composition of wastewater is compared to the volume and the quality of water with which it is mixed, right? If the concentration of the wastewater is very high, so we cannot directly dilute it in the water like water body like river, then sea and ocean and etc. However, in spite of the continued aerobic status of the receiving water, microbial pollution remains a health menace, and the floating solid in the wastewater, if not previously removed, are visible evidence of the pollution, right? And the presence of the excessive amount of the nutrient, it can be stimulate plant and algae growth in the receiving waters, right? Okay, so here you can see that the disposal by the dilution. You can see that the industrial wastewater which is directly diluted in the river. Okay, in the last you can see that the sewage treatment plant are there. Already we discussed about the preliminary treatment and primary, then secondary and the tertiary treatment. Okay, first of all, here you can imagine that your home or the industrial wastewater, right? The collection system are there. The pump there goes to the pump, and after that the preliminary treatment are there. So here first of all there goes to the screen. Here the large impurities are settled down and the after the effluent which goes to the grid chamber, right? In here the sludge which is collected by the biosoil. After that there goes to the sedimentation tank. Okay, so here you can see that the sedimentation tank are, it means that sedimentation tank or coagulation tank and the flocculation are there. Okay, after you can say that the secondary treatment are there. Okay, here it is the trickling filter, then aeration tank or the clarifier are there. Okay, after that the last process which is disinfection process and the treated wastewater, which here you can see that the treated wastewater are there. Okay, so the simple treatment plant are there. Okay, so this is all about the wastewater treatment processes, primary, secondary and the tertiary. I hope you all understood about the today's lecture. Thank you for the watching. Thank you.